Thank you. Yeah, we are going to begin today. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, distinguished colleagues and friends from around the world. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar titled Mill Cities, Strategies for Integrating Culture, Education, Technology, and Citizen Participation. This important session brings together educators, researchers, policymakers, and community leaders who are committed to building smart, more inclusive, and more resilient cities through media and information literacy. We look forward to a rich exchange of ideas, practical strategies, and inspiring experience that will help strengthen collaboration among our communities and empower citizens in the digital age. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you a productive and engaging webinar. Before I give the floor to the first speaker, I will let Professor Felipe Chiba to
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Emmanuel Komikonako. It's my pleasure to be here with these wonderful panelists and with your presence too, of course. Yeah. Professor Emmanuel Komikonako, we are recording. Right. Well, I am the Professor Felipe Chivas Ortiz, Executive Coordinator of International Center for Innovation and Development of Many Cities from University of São Paulo. Here is today is a very important day because I would like to officially welcome everyone present and especially the excellent panelists we will have today. Each of you will have 7 minutes to speak, and then we will open the debate. The presentation, you can introduce yourself is better because all of you have many recognitions, many knowledge and informations. But let's begin in this special session. But before I need to talk a briefing, a context. Media and information literacy, MIL or MILE, is now widely recognized as a fundamental civic competency for navigating complex digital environments, countering disinformation, strengthening democratic participation, and building more resilient and inclusive societies. In this context, cities occupy a strategic and often understood role as a space of life, culture, education, and innovation. They are the primary arenas where MIL integration into the social fabric is most concretely expressed. MIL cities or media and information literacy cities, an emerging concept in UNESCO agendas, learning cities, networks, and urban cultural policies, refers to communities that deliberately place media and information literacy at the heart of their development strategies. This is the challenge. The challenge is a very complex challenge. But let's begin in this special session with these wonderful panelists. And we and you have the floor, mediators. The first panelist for us for this moment is Arushelvan Erzegan from the Department of Media Science and Anna University's Chennai in India. Thank you so much, Professor Arushelvan Erzegan. You got the floor.
Yeah, he's facing the. So
yes. Should I speak, Philip?
Yeah.
Yes. You can speak, Professor. You are agree, Professor Emmanuel Comiconaco?
Yes, yes. Let me 1 minute introduce him before he take the floor. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe, for your opening word. We appreciate it. Yeah. Professor Dr. Arshavan Shira is a
Yes.
distinguished academician and media scholar currently serving as professor and the head of the Department of Media Science at Anna University, Chennai, India. With extensive experience in media education, research, and academic leadership, he has made significant contribution to the field of media studies, communication, and educational media. Professor Dr. Arishwan's research interests include media literacy, digital communication, journalism, and the role of the media in education and social development. He has been actively involved in curriculum development, scholarly publication, and mentoring students and researchers in the media science domain. He works, his work reflects a strong commitment to advancing media education and promoting respect, responsible, in informed media engagement in society. As a respected speaker at national and international conference, Professor Dr. Arishwan brings valuable insight on media innovation, education, and the involving media landscape in the area of digital. Professor, you have the floor.
Okay. Very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all. Thank you, Emmanuel, for the detailed introduction about me. As he said, I am working in the area of in general media, journalism, because I was a journalist turned into academician. I did a lot of, not a lot of, a few fellowships and researches across the globe. When I was in Portugal also, I did my postdoctoral research in University of Aveiro, Portugal. Then I did another fellowship in University of Edinburgh, and I visited around 20 countries. Regarding to this topic, media and information literacy, actually, when I was started with the media education, I was a journalist and I am teaching journalism when the news and the information is coming. When the news and information is coming, automatically nowadays the misinformation, disinformation, fact checking, verification, everything, because of the internet and the social media penetration, that information overloaded. Also, factual errors are there. Fact checking is needed. So, in general, as per UNESCO norms, that UNESCO nomenclature, that media and information literacy is one of the critical area, very important area for learning and understanding and practicing the media culture. Because throughout the world, each and every citizen is receiving so much of information, but they are not understand whether the particular information is correct or not, whether it is needed or not. Okay, so many people are affected with misinformation. One classic example from India in before COVID in 2018. That time WhatsApp and other social media becoming very popular. Also, a lot of people are started to using it. That time, one lady, she's more than 70 years old. Okay, she was beaten by a group of people. Group of people. In a town of Tamil Nadu in India. She died. The problem is that that lady in throughout the world, we are having a practice. Whenever we are going for a temple or church or masjid, when we are coming out, we are giving some sweets or fruits or food. We are giving to the people. Okay, that's in Tamil Nadu, in India, we are calling prasadam. But that old lady, she distributed sweets to local children. But the problem was the local people misunderstand that this lady is trying to give some sweets with some substances and trying to kidnapping these children. The root cause, the WhatsApp information. What was the WhatsApp information? Nowadays, many people, they are giving sweets and other food items for kidnapping children. They misunderstand. This kind of misinformation is circulating through WhatsApp and other social media platforms. The laymen, they are believing 100% whatever is coming through media, any kind of media, they are believing that it is true. So they beaten up, the old lady died. Okay, it is not only the one incident, the similar kind of incident is happened throughout the world. I did a research on this. More than 350 cases registered in 2018 itself in India and all other developing and underdeveloped countries. So, if the media and information literacy is there, this kind of problem is automatically solved because the people aware what is media, what kind of information is coming, whether it is true or not, whether it is needed or not. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay, coming to that MIL and cities, now many cities are incorporating this MIL component. How they are incorporating? They are giving very good bandwidth of internet. They are having very good library, especially digital library now. Yeah, I am from city of Chennai. The city of Chennai is having Anna Centenary Library, is the Asia's largest digital library. Asia's largest digital library. So our city is adapting to MIL in various ways, but they are not using the word MIL, but they are adapting the components in different aspects. So many people, they are accessing the content, they are awareing, they are changing their mindset. Before start to believe a content or context, they are checking once again. We did a lot of researches on this. Maybe I need not to take much time. Maybe in the next round of discussion, I will give more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Oshvan, for your presentation. Yeah, before we go to the next panelist, I'll give the floor to Professor Felipe for his comment quickly before we go. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dr. Yannick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Professor.
Mm.
Thank you, Professor Arushavan, for your knowledge and share this knowledge with us. Your worries about the cities and the children's are fundamental because we need the public policies on this point. The communication and the work with the families and the schools with in this age is very important. And of course, your contribution and the Indian contribution are essential. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your comment. Yeah, we are going to give the floor to the next speaker, Dr. Veronica Yannick. Dr. Veronica Yannick is an expert in corporate communication, project management, and international collaboration with more than 20 years of consulting experience. She has led both international and local projects in internal and external communication, training program, and a large-scale event, including work with UNESCO Global Initiative. Alongside her consulting career, Dr. Veronica has spent over 15 years in academia as associate professor and head of the Department of the Humanity, teaching across bachelor's, master's, and PhD level. Her course and research focus on corporate communication, major marketing, major economy, and branch journalism and cross-cultural communication. She is also the author for management of the company in crisis. Dr. Professor Yannick, Veronica, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope that everything is okay with my sound because I have the problems with the earphones, but now I hope that everything is okay.
Yeah.
So in this way, I'm really glad to see everybody of our experts. And of course, I would like to, I'm really glad to take part in this event and in this meeting. And it seems to me that the theme of our today meeting is very important if we speak about the integration of the culture, education, citizenship, and the work of the city halls, for example. If we speak about the integration function, and if we speak about the integrating process between all these very important management and city process in any city. But I would like to tell today, and I would like to speak about the role of the universities and also the Media and Information Literacy University in the modern city and modern mill city. So if we speak about the problem of the integration or about the integration challenge, we can say that in the most cities today, culture, education, technology operate in the different towers. So we have tech department building special apps without understanding human context. We have cultural institutions preserving heritage but failing to engage citizens critically with media. And we have schools struggling to keep up with the speed of digital change. The problem is that no single entity is responsible for connecting these dots. We lack an integrator. I believe that institution should be the university, but not the traditional ivory tower. It must be, or it should be, involved into a MIL university. I will not speak more about the MIL University. We understand that it's more than a simple campus. And also we spoke about the Media and Information Literacy universities many times. So what I would like to highlight, sorry, if we speak about the strategic partnership for the city, and if we speak about the Media and Information Literacy University about the classroom, laboratory, and responsibility. I would like to highlight the idea of responsibility, of course. So it performs 3 key functions. At first, MIL University should be the knowledge creator. It doesn't just consume knowledge, it actively researches the local media landscape, identifies disinformation trends, and studies digital divides. So also the MIL University should be the workforce developer. It trains not just students, but the entire city ecosystem, teachers, librarians, journalists, even city officials in MIL competences. And community hub. It becomes a natural trusted space where the public, private, and civic sectors can come together to solve problems. So if we speak about the integration of or integrating the education, so the MIL University breaks down the walls of the campus. First, It innovates the curriculum. It ensures that MIL is not just a subject for media study students, but a core competency for everyone, from computer science students learning about the ethical artificial intelligence to engineering students learning about the social impact of their designs. Second, it champions lifelong learning. Every university, and of course the MIL University, organize public workshops in local libraries, train senior citizens on how to spot misinformation, and run certification programs for City Hall employees. The university becomes a living lab where education happens everywhere, not just in lecture halls. If we speak about them, bridging culture and technology. So the MIL University acts as a such bridge. On one side, we have digital cultural heritage. The university partners with city museums and archives. The tech departments help digitize collections, but the media departments ensure that these digital assets are presented with context, critical interpretation, and accessibility. On the other side, we have civic tech. The university develops platforms for participatory budgeting or community journalism, ensuring these tools are built with MIL principles, meaning they prioritize transparency, fact-checking, and user education, not just engagement metrics. Crucially, the MIL University often hosts a fact-checking hub, collaborating with local media to clean up the information ecosystem. And the last thing and last idea which I would like to pronounce and highlight today, so it seems to me that MIL University could be the university as an anchor institution model. To visualize this, think about this anchor institution model. So the MIL University sits at the center. From here, it radiates influence outward to K-12 schools. It trains the teachers. Outward to local government. It advises on policy using evidence-based research. Outward to teach startups. It provides ethical guidelines and talents. Outward to arts and culture. It helps them engage with digital media responsibility. So the university uses its resources, its intellectual capital, its facilities, and its credibility to anchor the city's development strategy. So if we speak about the benefits, so the benefits of this model are tangible. For citizens, it means enhanced critical thinking and protection against the disinformation. For the economy, it creates a workforce skilled in ethical technology, attracting investment. For governance, it leads to more transparent participatory decision-making. And for social cohesion, it builds trust for creating shared cultural experiences grounded in facts, not fictions. So in this way, if we speak about the concept of the MIL city can't be achieved through policy alone. It requires a dedicated, skilled, and institutionally anchored force. The MIL University is that force. It's the only institution with the credibility to teach, the capacity to research, and the neutrality to convene. By moving beyond the traditional campus and embracing the role of a city integrator, the MIL University can help us build cities that are not simply or just smart, but wise, not just connected, but critically informed. So thank you so much for your attention, and I will be really happy to answer all the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Veronica Yannick, for your communication. Yeah, before we give the floor to the next panelist, I would like Professor Felipe to add his comment and observation.
Thank you so much, Professor Komikonako. And of course, thank you so much, Professor Veronica Yarnik, Veronica Jarnik is a great expert in media literacy and, of course, in Mill Cities too. We worked together for many years. Yeah, Veronica, for my pleasure and, for, of course, for my proud too. Your presentation talk about ecosystems, civic systems, of course, the participation of the communities in the construction, the building of the cities. This vision is very important because the democracy is necessary to build mill cities. And we need, of course, the transparency, and we need the journalism, strong journalists for this. These points are very important, and I invite you and all of the presence, the panelists presence, to write a chapter in the next books, on cities, and especially your vision, Professor Veronica, are very important in this contribution for the common good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Felipe, for your valuable contribution. You are the key of this session. Thank you so much. Yeah, the next panelist, our guest coming from South Africa, Dr. Rachel Fisher. Yeah, Dr. Rachel Fisher is a South African governance specialist and information ethics scholar with extensive experience in parliamentary oversight, civil society advocacy, and public policy research. She served as a parliamentary engagement research manager at the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, where she championed intensive to strengthen accountability, transparency, and citizen participation in democratic institutions. Rachel holds a PhD on the ethics of artificial intelligence policy development and has contributed widely to research on information ethics, cognitive justice, and responsible artificial intelligence governance. She has worked with UNESCO's Information for All programs, the International Center for Information Ethics, and academic institutions across Africa and abroad. Combining rigorous research with practical stakeholder engagement, she regularly advises policymakers, parliamentarians, and civil society partners on oversight reform, electoral integrity, and ethical government. And she is a frequent public commentator on strengthening South Africa's constitutional democracy. Dr. Rachel Fisher, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Komikonoko, Prof. Felipe Chiba, and the other panelists. It's an honor to join you again. In former life, I joined you from an academic perspective, also from the university side, and since then I've shifted into civil society and focusing predominantly on Parliament. Now, with today's topic, I'm particularly going to focus on the citizen participation side of things, because, in our current landscape this year, internationally, there are so many elections taking place, very profound, important elections. Even in South Africa, we will have our local government elections. So when we are looking at mill cities, local government, we need to empower citizens in order to access information that is reliable and accurate and trustworthy for them to make informed decisions. We all know democracy is under threat nowadays, so MOL is a core component to help us counter disinformation and misinformation. So I'm sure you can see my screen. So looking at how the MIL principles can guide civic engagement and digital tools, as you can see behind me, you're welcome to search for this in the meantime, parliameter.org.za for South Africa. And this is a practical tool, how we empower citizens. So we want to encourage informed and active participation of citizens by utilizing as objective as possible data in what is happening in the South African Parliament. We all know how government and parliament, can manipulate information to look towards their best advantages without looking at the needs of citizens. So we need to empower citizens by using these media, information, and digital literacy tools to make sure that they do not just become passive users, but must be genuine actors. It's a proven model of cross-sectoral collaboration where we are looking at researchers, civil society, government, and the media to collaborate in making this information accessible. And as you can see, access, accountability, transparency, and action are all key to this because we know the key MIL competencies of skills, knowledge, and attitude is crucial to become an informed citizen, not only in our day-to-day lives in our countries, but digital citizens as well. So I was thinking a good way to approach this, looking across sectoral integration, MIL cities, the MIL framework that has been extensively developed by Professor Felipe and Professor Veronica as well, is to tie in these various competencies and to tie an acronym to stand for triangulate. We all know, don't just read and follow and believe the first article or post you see online, but look for multiple sources and then triangulate for an informed decision. Be informed. Don't just switch off, maybe become lazy. It's very easy to become information overwhelmed. So we have to remain informed. And then to engage. It's no use we just sit and we are couch commentators. We need to go out there and exercise our civic responsibilities. So Parliameter is a collaboration between various organizations to make this information available. And it is co-funded by the European Union's Enhancing Accountability and Transparency Program. So this means it's embedded in international frameworks and is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals 16 and 17, because we also look at benchmarking of the indicators for democratic parliaments. So Parliameter is a digital tool designed to bridge the gap between public and parliamentary proceedings. We have found in our research that it's very limited in many countries and many democracies where citizens cannot access that information that influences their daily lives. In terms of education support, we see in many countries in America where funds are being cut for education, how universities are losing support, which means citizens and students and researchers are not equipped to do what they ought to be doing. And that makes for a city, a MIL city, with very poor foundations that can crumble. And at this point in 2026 and going forward, we cannot afford the crumbling of these institutions and these cities. It is relevant in the sense that it enhances transparency, making information available, open source, free of cost to empower citizens. We need to facilitate oversight of the executive and of the legislature. So citizens have the power to exercise oversight of parliament and of government and to hold them to account. Because if the president and the government takes complete power, that is when a misuse of power and privilege comes to the fore. Parliament is there to balance out government, and when a democracy starts failing, it is because that power has been taken away, or they've just become pawns in a larger game, profiting those in positions of power. The only way to counter that is to improve participation among citizens. If citizens practice their rights, if they ensure they have the literacies in place, develop the more competencies of skills, knowledge, and attitude, we can make sure that we improve and strengthen our democracies. And we need to hold faith that there are parliamentarians that want to do their work well and to make information available to them as well as policymakers that are best equipped to do so. So if we look at MOL and the MOL cities and how we strengthen those is to
Oh, something wrong?
We don't listen to you.
Yeah.
Okay, it should
Rachel.
be better now?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm being muted by somebody. Okay, so increase public engagement, improving transparency, especially to allow civil society, journalists and researchers to track these trends and to make it available to citizens. And once we have this evidence, we can utilize evidence-based advocacy to affect change. So I'm quickly going to show you what it looks like, and then we can close off. So as an example, this is Parliameter that one can go to, and we've got various tools available to citizens. But we must consider the importance of education and awareness on this, because high levels of literacy is required to access parliamentary and government data. We all know how complex legislation is. So if we got a dashboard and suddenly we can start seeing statistics of what is happening in Parliament, and this is an example of South Africa's Parliament, where we can see the average meetings per member of Parliament. We can see the best attendance of parliamentary committees. So if citizens want to know what is happening to health, education, finance, infrastructure, they can start seeing what is the attendance rates of MPs within Parliament. And if they don't attend, if they don't engage, they can call them to action. We can also see political parties and are they attending the meetings as they should be attending. We can even monitor age. We know the importance of gender and age within society for minority and marginalized groups to make sure we give voices to the youth, as well as other interesting tools to monitor Parliament. A lot of research is made available also on parliaments and the linkages to civic participation. And even something as easy, we don't know where, it doesn't matter in which country we are, people don't always know where are their representatives if they've got issues in terms of what's happening in their own country's democracy. And in South Africa's case, we've gone and we've mapped and searched all the offices for parliamentarians, and we can click on one, we can see the location, and we can start seeing the representatives, contact details, and where they are. So essentially, this is a tool for us to ensure that we strengthen citizens. So MOL principles that I've extended in this instance for a call to action is to foster partnerships amongst all of us, no matter if we're in the university, researchers, governments, or civil society. We need to engage with experts. We need to collaborate. We need to develop mechanisms for citizen engagement. We have to implement targeted programs for citizen education and MOL competencies. We must monitor the production and distribution of education materials, and we must always have a feedback loop to enhance accessibility and user experience. I thank you for your time, and
Wow.
questions are welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel, for your presentation. Yes, very, very nice. So, before we give the floor to the next, I will let Professor Felipe comment. Yes.
Thank you, Professor Comey. Thank you, Professor and dear colleague Rachel Fisher. We meet from long time ago, and we work together in many challenges together. Thank you so much for accept this invitation. Good your work, of course, very good, and good your slides. It's good because it's more clear the concepts with the you when you use the slides. You mentioned concepts like triangulate, engaged or engagement, because we need, of course, transparency to, like Veronica Jarnik told later, we need transparency and democracy, but we need two tools for build this transparency and democracy with media and information literacy. I like it of this tool, parameter. What is the name? Current name? Rachel, what is the name? Parameter. That's right. This tool, this digital tool, parameter. Well, this is good. We need digital tools to the transformation of the cities, and this is a good example. But we need to the presence of the different agents of the cities, like policymakers, like journalists, and others. And this work talk and about this, the policymakers, the participation of policymakers, and with tools, with this participation will be real. Thank you so much again for your participation and your knowledge, Rachel Fisher. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Felipe, for your comment. Yeah, it is very interesting.
Emmanuel,
Yeah.
can I intervene now or shall I join later?
Okay. Okay. If you have a quick point to add, you can add it before we
Yes, it's very much supplementary to Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel, in India, I am one of a part of the foundation. It's a non-profit foundation. They are working on parliamentary work, parliamentary proceedings, and how the member of parliaments, how they are working, what is their contribution, how they are working for their constituency, how many hours they are attended, okay, how many questions they raised, how many discussion going on, everything the foundation is analyzing. Based on that, they are giving a performance report, not like US parliameter. It's a partially manual, partially IT oriented. It's not like a meter or the applications, but they are using that the traditional Excel sheet and some other analysis software. They are using because India is a very biggest country. More number of parliamentarians are there. They are analyzing all the data. How many hours the parliament happened? How many people? How many members attended? How much time? What is their questions? What is the discussion? What is the output? Everything they analyze. Finally, they are giving the certifications. Not certifications. It's like credentials. Okay. But it's a very good attempt. But how? Because as you said, the parliamentarian is coming out of the transparency. They are getting public. They are getting more information about what is happening inside the parliament. Okay. Also, they are thinking that okay, we have to very much accountability. That kind of things is happening due to this analysis. Actually, I very much like about your work. I hope if possible, we can join and we can adapt this parliameter to our initiative also. Our initiative is a partly manual, partly IT. but your is coming like a very nice one. Thank you so much. Just it's a supplement.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Haushivan, for your contribution and your invitation to Rachel to join you. Yeah. Okay. We have among us Dr. Professor Carmen Monero. But before we give him, the floor, let me introduce her directly. Yeah, Dr. Professor Carmen Monero is a professor of communication at Algarve University and Autonoma University in Portugal. She is a postdoctor in media and in communication by Saint Joseph University in Macau. Carmen Moreno holds a PhD in communication science, specializing in communication and act at Nova University of Lisbon. She has a master in communication and media studies culminated at Catholic University of Portugal and a Bachelor of Act in Management at the Technical University of Lisbon, Portugal. Post-graduation in financial instruction, product and market at Nova School of Business and Economics, and post-graduation in cultural management, Catholic University of Portugal. Her research interests focus on branding, strategic communication, and digital communication. In parallel to academic activities, she gained experience in the finance industry as well as strategic consulting. Researcher at ECNOVA, Professor Carmen is a professor of communication at Algarve University and Autonoma University in Portugal. Professor Carmen Monero, you have the floor.
Thank you, Professor Emmanuel. Thank you, Professor Felipe Chivas. It's a pleasure to be here and to join for this wonderful and a great event. So, strategies for integrating culture, education, technology, and citizen participation is the title of this event, and I will talk about cities and the culture, heritage, and digital identities. So, the building Latin American, African, and Canada. So the topic that I'd like to share and share with you some of my knowledge is cultural heritage and digital identities. How can cultural institutions, libraries, museums, and community centers become key actors by connecting heritage preservation, cultural diversity, and mastery of digital environments? So I know that I have a couple of minutes, so I will be very, very brave and to talk about this and what I think about who is your city. So the Richard Florida, as you know, is the author of the bestseller, The Rise of this Creative Class. And the topic of this book, Who is Your City, is something that touched me a lot because actually my city, my mother city, as I can say, is Lisbon, Portugal. But I have been living in the different cities and travel a lot because it's my professional way of life. So I usually travel to United States, Africa, South of America, but actually a lot for Asia. So who is my city? I cannot answer exactly what is my city, but it's a place where I feel a connection with the people, connection with the cities and the place, not only city, but the place. And the culture is something that I really appreciate when I visit a lot of cities. So economic growth, global brand, the brand of the spaces, or the branding of the city or the place branding, the success of the on the following factors: gentrification, promoting equity, adapt to evolving challenges such as the climate change and the digital transformation. And for the cities that inspired to this model, the balance between creativity and sustainability remarks paramount. So, gentrification, as you know, this is refers to the process of urban change. Here in Portugal, we have a lot of case studies that we can say the gentrification brings a new and a good point of view, but could be a little bit not so good for the neighborhoods of the historic center. So we talk about Lisbon, for example, in Portugal, the city, the capital is city. It's a world, and we have a different neighborhoods of the historic centers, in which the poorest classes are replaced by classes with superior economic power. So where is the culture and what's happened with this kind of culture? So this is a train, electric train, a yellow electric train. So it's very typical of this kind of neighborhoods in the Portugal, exactly in the Lisbon. And what we think about this kind of creative city. So the concept of creative city refers to an urban planning, as you know, in development paradigm that prioritize creativity as a strategic driver for sustainable growth, cultural volatility, and social inclusion. So where is what's happening with these kind of smart cities, as we know? Where is how can we reduce costs and improve decision making? So the key components of the creative cities in the way that I believe is the underground, the people, individual creators like artists, writers, innovators who generate ideas, where they are, how can we include them in the cities? The other point is the space. And so I usually work and think about companies, but how can the companies add value and include galleries, co-working centers, and how can they connect creators with industry? So different industries. And the other point, so the companies in the institution that market creative products, how can include with design firms and the media companies? I bring some case studies, so maybe I can approach this kind of situation. And I've been writing a lot with this kind of case studies. For example, in Portugal, we have a very smart and a very pretty city called Aveiro, so close to Ilhavo. We say this is the Veneza of Portugal. And for example, this kind of company is a well-known company, a factory called Vista Alegre, and they can include artists, they can include, for example, a theater, they can include a museum. So they work in this kind of example factory, Vista Alegre in Aveiro, include the people, but the community with a very smart way. So we say a factory we say this is porcelain, so the factory of different very nice pieces. So the museum, the gallery, and also the building. So they don't destroy, they don't remove all this identity, but they include it. And also we can say that they include the community. So this is as a really economic and social impact, as we know, but they can include. So my point of view, the role of cultural institutions like libraries, museums, community centers, apps for culture and learning, for example, preserve and promote heritage. So in this case, British museums, but I bring a Vista Alegre museum or Vista Alegre company. So because this is a gallery, and they include, for example, artists for different countries of the world, foster cultural diversity and inclusion. So multicultural festivals, exhibitions, and also they bring with immersion. They usually invite emerging or not so well-known artists to paint and to be here. So this is a very critical thinking, and they also work with the workshops on the different ways online, also masterclass with artists. So it is a very well known with the two centers 200 years. This company has a 200 years, so it's a very old. How to be key actor. So collaborate with educators and the communities, such, for example, school library partnership. So partnership with the artists. I have I couldn't recommend you books. So
Yeah, Kurt.
how can we include the partnership, the artists with these kind of cities, creative cities? So hand-on workshops is Visaleg also do this kind of work, digital storytelling, media creation. So audio description for visual empowering. So when we are here, we can use in the round of the neighborhoods, we can use a digital or a digital in the translation in the same time that we can visit the space. So, and for just to finish, the educate, we're using for workshops, online safety, not direct. This is not the core business of the companies, but the companies could be could take a place like a role to in the social responsibility to learn and to teach about this all different kinds of things. So we educate museums, as I told, community centers, so digital skills for seniors, for example, because we have a lot of, as you know, demography in Europe is with a elder senior, a lot of seniors, so the we can include the seniors also. It is I don't think this is a problem in Portugal, but it's something that's happening in Europe. In the conclusions, cultural institutions are very close to empowering communities, preserving culture, and then bringing digital divides to our cities and our communities, and also to our country. So this is my point of view, and this is the topics that I would like to share with you all, and this for discussion today. Thank you, Professor Emmanuel. Thank you, Professor Philippe Chibaz, for this invitation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Carmen Moreno, for your presentation. In one word, I can say that a city is a live place, entity that enables women to live, to work, and enjoy his life. So, Professor Felipe, quickly, before we go to the last invitation.
Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Comiconacos. Thank you so much, Professor Carmen Sica Monereo. It's good to see you here. It's good to yes, you're present here.
Thank you.
It's good
I
to
could
see.
join today. Thank you.
No problem. We got many challenges. For example, geopolitical challenge, geoeconomic challenge, and geocultural challenge too. The culture is a very important dimension of the cities and the society. The culture and the identity is a construction, a permanent construction. But we need sustainability for this construction. We need, of course, the integration of different cultures, not only, for example, European culture. We need the Asian culture, the African culture, the Latin American culture in this construction, in this building. We need, and in my opinion, también, the practice experience in this. We need pilots of this experience. And the professor Carmencita showed the factories, Vista Alegre factories. I can talk of in Havana, Cuba, have two, a factory, cultural factory too, similar like Vista Alegre factory. We can do, for example, we can do comparative research of the different pilot mill cities. We got experience in Honduras. We got experience in Zaragoza, Spain too, and we can do the different dialogues in this line. Is my opinion. Thank you so much for your participation and your contribution, Professor.
Thank you, Professor Felipe. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Felipe. Thank you, Professor Carmel Moreno, for your contribution. Yeah, please can you display your PowerPoint presentation so I can invite our next guest? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are invited to go to Greece today, and our speaker is Mrs. Sofia Samara. Mrs. Sofia Samara is a student in the International and European Studies program at the University of Macedonia, Greece. She is passionate about global cooperation, communication, and the role of education in strengthening democracy, participation in and informed citizenship. Her academic interests include international relation, media and information literacy, European policies, and youth engagement in digital and civic life. As a young scholar, Sophia is particularly interested in how universities and students can contribute to building inclusive, informed, and resilient communities in the digital age. Through her participation in academic and international initiatives, Sophia represents the voice of youth and the next generation of leaders committed to promoting responsive major use, intercultural dialogue, and sustainable development. Mrs. Sophia, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Professor Komikonaku, for your great introduction. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Professor Felipe Sibas, for the kind invitation. I'm very honored to be with you and among very amazing scholars and professors. So let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? My presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so today our topic is how we can integrate culture, education, technology, and citizen participation. I specifically chose to focus on how we can integrate more cultural institutions and incorporate meal practices. So first of all, we have UNESCO's framework for meal cities, and the main aims are to teach citizens and the public and private organizations to overcome the 12 cultural barriers and to promote sustainable change within societies. So sustainability is a key concept that surrounds the framework of meal cities, and I think that this should be our basis in every action we take in order to incorporate meal. Now, the most important factor is that a meal city is a city where all actors participate, from the local authorities, institutions, the private sector, organizations, and the civil society. So it's very important that we promote a multi-sectoral engagement from different urban actors. Now, concerning the museums, archives, and the entertainment industry that falls under the sector of culture, I think three very important and effective initiatives would be to create thematic days in schools or in different civil groups in order to teach how to manage information, how to eliminate disinformation and misinformation. Secondly, we can promote media information literacy through different activities that are not only that do not only target the young people but also the elders, because it's very important to remember that victims of disinformation and misinformation can be people from different age groups. So we should also take into consideration how to incorporate them into different activities. And also, we can draw on local history to demonstrate how narratives, information, and media content has been constructed in the past, and use exhibitions and programs to show how different narratives can exist or have existed in the past, that were disinformative or misinformative, and help build a solid basis based on them to inform people and educate them on how to pinpoint disinformation or disinformation, and tackle it in a personal level. So in the cultural sector and in the urban context, I think it's very important to have a multi-level, multi-sector approach that includes the young, older people, people from different educational backgrounds, people from different social and economic backgrounds. So inclusivity, I think, is a key factor when it comes to meal activities. Some recommendations that I have gathered here is, for example, of course, invest in work through schools and the school libraries that are living laboratories of every city. Also, invite various creative industry associations for a monthly meal brunch, something that is more casual, but yet people can be informed by them and learn with hands-on experience and interaction. Include meal-themed films into local film festivals. For example, I live in Thessaloniki in Greece, and Thessaloniki has a very famous film festival that takes place every year. So, for example, we could incorporate some films or documentaries that spread awareness about media information literacy. Create and broadcast campaigns to help citizens on the local news in different local channels. And I think this is a very good idea that is more targeted toward older people, the elders, who it's very important to also educate on meal. Um, Another idea is meal summer schools, and also I would say some exchange programs for students that that fall under the theme of media information literacy. Meal workshops, of course, engagement with kids through work in schools, and of course, as I mentioned before, empower people of all ages to create their own works and productions. Now, in Thessaloniki, we had a very interesting exposition in the Institute Goethe. It was called Fakeless. I have like a picture here that you can see. That took place from 2023 to 2024, and I went to this exposition, and it was very interactive. It had some very interesting games where anyone could play to see how to understand if you're being a victim of fake news, if something you read on the internet is a product of disinformation or misinformation. And I think that, first of all, that was a very successful exposition with a lot of attendance. And I think that this example is very good to see how we, based on that, do more initiatives like expositions, um, to engage more and more people, maybe in a more fun and casual way, to understand how to spot fake news and misinformation, disinformation. And I think it's such an initiative is great because it's inclusive. Schools can visit, people from different backgrounds can visit. So, based on this example, I think we should do more initiatives like this. Now, unfortunately, in Thessaloniki is not a media information literacy city yet, but I do believe that maybe in the future we could build a more sustainable urban institutions that also incorporate the meal framework. So yes, that was my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for your kind invitation.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sophia Samara from Greece, for your exciting presentation. You have focused on many things, and I will highlight one thing that caught my attention before I give the floor to Professor Felipe. In terms of action, meal action in the sector of culture, you have focused on 10 action youth must do. And among that, I have got one that organized Miss Summer Schools with award for participant best media production. Yeah, exactly. In the middle of among youth, we need to push, we need to make more action so many youth can contribute in order to exchange their mind so we can grow more major literacy and mill cities in our countries. Professor Felipe, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Professor Manuel Comiconacol. Thank you so much, Sofia Samara, for your presentation. You talk about the most important factors on culture to build mini cities. The dimension culture is essential, fundamental of mini cities because, like you said, the different ages groups and the different backgrounds groups are essential, and the integration of all the people in this model of city. We need pilots experience of this model or this paradigm of city. We need to, in my opinion, indicators and metrics to evaluate this change at the cities. Of course, we got now the elections and the democracy are entrenched in many countries, and the culture, the different culture, and the different groups must be participate in this transformation. The actions, the meal culture actions that you propose are very interesting too. I agree with the Professor Emmanuel Comiconacol, and of course, with in this line we can do some comparative research, Sophia, and we can do different discussions too. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you so much for your invitation. I'm very honored.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe. Thank you, everyone, for your participation today. The floor is open. We have spent our time, and please, 2 or 5 minutes to discuss before we leave the session. So,
Professor Emmanuel Comi, we
yeah,
can do some questions.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
Yeah. Yes, I am open to this.
For example, we can I ask to all culture, identity, heritage, and hybrid identities are present in your cities. Yes. And what the role of the meal approach or meal city approach in this integration?
Yeah, we have Dr. Rachel from South Africa. She has something to share with us. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, everybody, on your presentations. Very, very, very insightful and great to learn. I also want to pick up in terms of the university sphere, but also what Sophia presented on. You know, when we look at teaching, lecturing, what we are showcasing students, I mean, in the predominant cases, let's assume more than 90% of students graduate and they go out into the work environment. And they become parents at some point, right, with their own children. And I'm a firm believer of lifelong learning, but also integration of what it is we taught. And the most responsible thing we can do is, once we are dealing with media and information literacy competencies, is to integrate it throughout whatever it is that we are doing. Even whether you're in medicine, you need literacy when you're in medicine, when you're an accountant, or when you become a teacher. And that is integrating those competencies, because that's how we can create the most awareness. Now, in South Africa, we don't really, as far as I know, especially not where I'm coming from, University of Pretoria could have been the closest, I want to say, because we really prioritized MIL. And so stretching from that, we don't really have integrated MIL cities. But something we've been doing, just as an example of this integration, is we've been doing quite extensive community workshop training on Parliameter. So even though it looks at public participation, parliamentary awareness among citizens, we always start with basic literacy. Literacy on how these structures work, but also literacy, digital literacy on how to access these tools, how to use these tools. So it's combining the core competencies and then embedding it in the context that we are in. And that is something that we really have found useful. So we're almost bringing the MIL literacy, the MIL university, the MIL city into local levels without people, because I mean, most of our communities haven't had access in many instances to secondary and very hardly tertiary education.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel. The combination of many sector help people to grow together. Thank you so much. Yeah, the floor to Professor Arushivan Siram.
Yes. Sorry. Is it audible?
Yeah, your
Yes.
word,
Okay.
your point of
Yes,
view.
you spoke about MIL University. It's a very good idea. Because we are the people, we are working in the area of MIL. It's a very good proposal. If it is come, it will be very useful. But at the same time, nowadays, we are forgetting one thing. It's not a negative one. We are going very much specialized and narrow down, because so many things are very interrelated, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. Even physics, the subject physics, subject chemistry, subject mathematics, or social science, everything is needed in MIL. Okay, because each and every area, they need some kind of literacy, especially media and information literacy. So we have to think, if the MIL university is, if you are bringing it, we have to think this multidisciplinary approach also. Okay. Then regarding to the technology, we are adopting so many new technologies, AI applications, many other things. It's very nice. Recently, I want to share one more thing. Now I am in New Delhi. It's the capital of India. I am attending an educational film festival. I am also one of the competitor. Our center, our educational multimedia research center, we won best documentary film of the year award. Just now I received on behalf of our center. I am sharing with my happiness with you. The award is for puppet art. You know, puppet art is one of the very much old and traditional art, but still, even though we are we are living in the technology advanced condition, still that is relevant. The rural people, then children, adolescent people, still they are like the traditional art form because it gives more intimacy, it gives more engagement, and so they are enjoying the art. Through the art, we are giving so many awareness programs, hygiene, many other practices, health, financial literacy. Same time, we are also added media and information literacy because each and every children is also affected with MIL. No, sorry, fake information. So MIL is very important. Also, the students are engaging with a lot of mobile gadgets, media gadgets. They are spending so much of time. They are not able to come out. So we are adding MIL through the puppet art. It is very much relevant. The students are very much engaging. Children are very much engaging. They are getting easy awareness. So we need to think all these things also. Just I want to give my opinion. Technology advantage is also necessary. Same time, the traditional form is giving more engagement, more involvement among the various stakeholders, especially children. So we need to think all these things. Yes, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Professor Arushivan, for your argumentation. Exactly. Technology will never replace humanity. It will help humanity
Yes.
to grow more better. Thank you so much. Yeah, as the time is against us, I will give the floor to Professor Carmen Moreno from Portugal to add her point of view. You have the floor.
Sorry, Professor Emmanuel, could you repeat this?
Yeah, you have to, if you have a question, you have a commentary or a contribution in 1 minute.
Okay, so in my point of view, the key is actually the people, and how can we include the people in all these new world, if we can say. So how can we include with the identity, with the culture, with the traditional, with the heritage, and the people needs to be in the different age or different level of economy position or professional position. People must feel they are included in a new project. And we cannot separate this for companies or big cities or smart cities or different technology, high level technology, but we need to include the people. And if you want to be, this is the kind of strategy. You cannot separate cultural, education, technology, cities, and without the participation of the communities. And actually, with this kind of economic system, the world and the economic mindset, we can see that people, even in the, for example, small cities or small, small regions, for example, in Africa or Europe, people are not included because they feel that the tourism and gentrification and the high cost of the life, they don't feel integrated. So I think it's so sad. And we are, as academic and also with persons, citizens, we need to be very, very careful with this kind of situation because Actually, we have this kind of opportunity to have technology, for example. But for example, I know countries like cities in Angola or even in Portugal that it's not easy to take a train, or it's not easy to have a internet connecting or connection. So what's happened? So maybe we are not talking all about the same world. We are different, like there is like a different worlds. What's happened? So actually we have this kind of situation, and the technology it's not for all. Could be, but sometimes it's very, very expensive, as we know. And so how can we include the people and feel that the mental health also it's a point that we should talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Morena. Yeah, we have said that people is the key of all digital transformation in our cities. Yeah, you are right. Yes, before I give the floor to Professor Felipe, I will give the floor to Mrs. Sophia from Greece.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to add, of course, I agree with all of you, great professors from around the world. I think it's very important to provide access to everyone, and also promote media information literacy initiatives and activities in such a way that people feel like they can be part of it. Meal is something that we should spread, and we should advocate together as a city and united. And it's important that people from all backgrounds feel included, and also understand that they can be literate in media information. It's something that they can achieve, of course, with the right experts and some coordinated initiatives, because I sense, because I come from a small city in Greece, that many people believe that in order to understand or have media information literacy competencies, you need to have a university degree or higher education. But this is not true. Experts can provide their knowledge and teach people how to be literate in media information. So for me, it's really important to promote the activities and the initiatives in a way that we make them accessible to everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sophia. Make main cities or mile accessible to everyone. Thank you so much. Professor Felipe, you have the floor to close the session.
Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Comiconaco, and thank you so much to everybody. My last word is we need involving the five main agents of the innovation: policymakers, educators, entrepreneurs, artists, and ordinary citizens in these strategies and in this change. We need to the multi-level strategies with these agents. We need tools like the people said today, but we need to indicators, metrics to evaluate this change in the cities. My invitation to all is to think about these indicators and metrics, and of course in the all the cities and in the mill university cities, like Veronica said. We need this approach, this scientific approach, and of course with the different agents, five agents of the city. We close this brief this session with these words. We are the message with our example. We are a family, the Mill Cities family. Let's grow together, my friends. Best regards. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Felipe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
Thank you
here.
so much.
And we
Thank you.
apologize for the time. Next time we will manage to be.
Thank you so much, Manuel, Philip, and all other members.
Thank you, Professor Shram.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rashid. Thank you, Professor Carmel. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Professor.
much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Good
very
night.
important, the presence of the young people.
Yes.
Surely.
Sofia Samara.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Carmencita Monereo. Thank you so much, Professor
Bye-bye.
Veronica. Thank you so much, Professor Raul Chevan. Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Comico Naco.
Yeah.
I got it.
You got it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
good day.
Bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hugs.
Thank you. Yes.